Hello my peoples, she who grew up 13, and this is going to be my contest entry for Venus Envy Girl. So we were supposed to choose 5 of our best and worst pieces to show, and I have 4 worst and best pieces, and then I have 1 that meets in the middle. That's my best and worst piece to date. So I'll start off with my worst pieces. I only started pouring resin back in October, and of course, most of my stuff is going to be either Halloween themed or Christmas themed because that's what we've gotten to so far. So, one of the first things that came out, one of the first things that I poured was a whole batch of vampire teeth. And when I say whole batch, I mean like a whole batch got ruined. I didn't know anything about resin, really. I just gun-hoed it. Like, I really wanted to pour a batch because I seen everyone's cool charms, and one of the videos they said you could color your resin with food dye, so I picked up food dye, and I got this silicone mold because they said you could use silicone. So I got this mold of vampire teeth, and I mixed my resin together, poured it in. Didn't know anything about air bubbles. That's what all those holes are in there. So it ate away most of all of my resin. It ate away the tips of the vampire teeth on almost every pair, and I thought that I could take the food dye and drip it down the teeth, and that's obviously not really what happened. I mean, it tried to, but it didn't get very far. So this was a horrible experience because I wasted how much is it? Like $20 or $30 on a box of resin to pour these, and I didn't know what was wrong the first time. So I tried to go back and do some research, and I figured out that you could take a straw to blow your air bubbles out and all that good stuff. So anyway, that was my first nightmare, are these guys. And I saved them because I wanted to practice drilling on them, which will bring me to my next piece, which is this guy. Like I said, I didn't know a whole lot about resin when I first started pouring. I didn't know about layers. This looks like a layer. It's not. Just my sprinkles floated to the bottom. And I was super excited when this piece came out because I was so excited about how it looked, like dimension-wise, like it floated and all that. I didn't know about stickers and Mod Podge, so that's what I got here. This whole sticker got ate through because I didn't know that you were supposed to Mod Podge some of your stickers. And I didn't know about layers, but it looked like a layer, so I was super excited about it. So basically I just saved it so that I could practice drilling on it, which I'm not using this drill anymore because I got terrified of it. If you've ever watched any of my other videos, you do know that I have to put everything down that I'm holding to do anything else, because if not, I could hurt myself. Okay, it could be bad. So I didn't have a vise for this guy, so I was holding it in my hand, went to go drill it, and basically, if you notice, I don't know if you can tell on camera, this hole goes sideways a little bit. Well, when I was drilling it, the bit caught the piece and took it out of my hand and started twirling it like this around the bit, and it smacked my hand so hard I was black and blue for like a week, and I was terrified of the drill. I won't use that drill anymore because it's not the proper drill to use in the first place, nor will I ever probably hold my pieces. I probably will put it in a vise. But I thought I broke my finger because it hit it so hard, and it did make me black and blue. So that's another nightmare piece. But I learned from this though, so that's a good thing. Then my next piece goes into Christmas, and I had gotten this mold, and I really, really wanted to pour it, and I couldn't decide how I wanted to pour it, and then I knew Christmas was coming, so I thought I would do it like a candy cane, like this, how it is on the back, and I thought I'd be rocking a candy cane ice pop all through Christmas. Not what happened. So I poured this piece really late at night, and basically my lid to my glitter came off and took a crap inside of my resin piece. So I have like this giant, I mean, it looks pretty on camera, but I mean, like, I have a giant mess over here from where the lid came off into it, and I had to throw my lid away because I couldn't get it clean, and all my glitter got stuck to it, yada yada yada. I don't know why I kept pouring my glitter like this once it took a crap in my resin, because obviously it did not come out how I thought it was going to. So I don't know why I wasted my time and poured the rest of this on there like that, because it wasn't going to come through on the front like that. So, yeah, that was a great experience, really late at night. I mean, I saved it. I don't even know why. I guess because it just had a cool story. I'm like, yeah, this looks really cool on the back. Take a look at the front. You know? And then people ask you what happened, and you tell them your glitter took a dump inside of your resin piece. So I was really excited to pour this piece, and then I got really disappointed because the back looked really cool, except for this little floating down here. Looked really cool, so I was super excited, and then I popped it out, and I was like, oh, no. So, this happens. This happens to people quite often, so it happened to me. Just figured I'd share that. But anyway, I saved it. Moving right along. Next piece. I know this has happened to quite a few people. I don't even know. The reason I glazed this, even though it's a dud, is because I glazed the other one, and the other one came out really good. So, basically, I have a Wilton brownie mold. And what happened was, I was working with my resin, and I was pouring a big, the whole palette, basically, of the Wilton mold, which I think is like 24 pieces or something like that. If you work with resin, you will know that at a certain point in time, if you have not worked quick enough, your resin will get super tacky, and you will not be able to work with it, move it, yada yada yada. It, you know, does a really goopy thing. Well, I mixed some plastic cups, and I took too long, and I had about 3 more molds to pour, so I tried to get them out of the cup into the mold, which took forever because it was like a giant ball, and I thought maybe if I got it in there that it would flatten out and set, and that's not what happened. I mean, it got in there, and it flattened out for maybe like about this much flattened out of it, and I took a sticker and shoved it in on 3 of my pieces, and the resin would not cover the back of it. So it dried like a sucked in square. Like it looked like I can't even really describe how it did. It just looked messed up. The whole piece looked messed up. All 3 of them did. So after it was dry the next day, I was like, well, let me pop it out and see what the front of it looks like, just to be curious. So I popped them out, which was my mistake. Because if you pop it out and you try to put back in the mold, obviously there's going to be leakage if you go to pour another layer. So I pulled them out. They looked like these poor, pathetic, dried up, pruned-like resin pieces. So I was like, screw it. I'll put another layer of resin on there. So I put them back in, and I threw a whole tornado storm worth of stuff in the back. Some glitter, some hearts, and some food coloring. And I covered up the gaping hole that was on the backs of them and stuff. But then when I went to pop them out the next day, I realized, you know, there's just this ton of stuff floating around in there. It makes no sense. It's just everywhere. There was leakage from me pulling this piece out. The resin, the second layer, when I went to go pour, when I put this piece back in, seeped through to the underneath part, but left a giant hole right here where you could see through, which I tried to pick this part off up here so you could see him, so it would look cool, like he was in a snowstorm or something. But that's not what happened, and then like I have drippage there, and the glitter's all messed up, and it was just a nightmare of stuff that went into this thing, and I was trying to save it and see what I'd come up with, and this is all I got. So, yeah. So don't ever pull your pieces out and then try to put them back in unless you want this type of effect, because that's pretty much what will happen. And I mean, it still looks pretty shiny and stuff, but I mean, like, it makes no sense. So that's my other worst piece. And moving on to my best pieces that I think are my best, so don't, I mean, well, whatever. The first stuff that I poured, like I said, was Halloween stuff, because that's what I had, and I had this really cool mold for skeleton heads. And I had these really cool rhinestones. There's a moon in there, a purple moon and a pink star. And I thought they'd be really cool in the eyes, so that's where I tried to put them. And like I said, I didn't know anything about layers, so I just poured glitter in the back after it got tacky, and it didn't really float or anything. It just stayed where it was at. So, the cool thing about this piece is, though, is the jaw. I did the jaw a different color, so the jaw matches the star up here. But it just looks super cool. But if you flip it over to the back, you'll see that the whole back is covered in pink, and only a small part up here is covered in brown, like a dark purple. So like if I flip it, isn't that amazing? So like there's a small amount of pink down here, but in reality it's covering the whole back, and then there's a small amount of the dark purple up here. I poured the dark purple first, and I poured it at the jawline and up, and then I went back with the pink and poured it all over the back and down here, and it gave it this really cool effect with the jaw. So I love this piece, and I made it into a pin, and I wore it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And a couple other of the skulls that I gave away have different colored stars in the eyes and stuff. People really liked them, so. But this one was definitely my favorite because of the jaw. And I just really like how it came out. So that's one of my best pieces. Then my other best resin piece, it's very simple, but I love it, and I've worn it a lot, and it's really cool to me. I had got sent these stickers that I was looking for, and it had this awesome deer in it wearing a hunting hat, and I just thought it was super cool. When I was making feather earrings, in my bag of feathers there was this teeny tiny little feather. I was like, man, what can I do with that? So I wound up putting it in with this hunting one because I thought it went well together. And then there's another feather in there. It splits like a V at the bottom. Can you guys see that? And like you're gonna answer me. But I got them in there like that, and the piece came out perfect. The back is smooth, the front is smooth. It's very simple, and I didn't want to add color to it because I just thought that the simpleness was perfect for me. I like simple things, so I thought this was really awesome. And then I did good on my drilling on it, and it was like the first time I'd ever worked with my findings, and the first time I ever really put chain on anything and findings on stuff, and I came out really happy with it because I did so well on it with everything. So that's my best piece, I think. So there's that. And then the other stuff is recent stuff that I've made, and it was out of clay. And the reason I'm showing this is because I have a very hard time making bows and stars. And bows, to me, they're evil because I can never get the sides the same. Like the bow, the top part right here and here, I can never get them to match. And this one I finally got it to match, and it came out perfect, I think. I don't know why my brain says make one side one way and one side the other way. I guess left brain or right brain or something is making two different parts. I don't know what's going on up there. So I really love that this came out perfect. I was really happy with it because I can never get my bows to come out this even. So there's that. So basically I'm showing you the bow on this is my best thing. So I was really happy that I could finally get a piece to come out good. Then my other piece, which, like, I may not think it's, well, I do think it's my best, but for clay wise, but everybody here has told me that this is my best, and that's why I'm showing it, because it feels good when somebody tells you that they think that something's your best, you know? And I've had a lot of people here tell me that they really love this piece, so I just thought I would share it because everyone thinks it's my best clay work. So I did the Mad Hatter's Tea Party for another contest. Literally, this is for another contest. And I just did a lot of detail on it. I had to mix my own colors to get the different colored teapots and stuff, and even for the blue down here. And I had to do so much texture on the cake and the grass. And I just did a really good job on it, and everyone's complimented me on it. So I feel like this is my best piece because I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. So there's that. And then my last piece is my best and worst piece. Again, this happened with the other guy, this guy. Same thing happened to this one. However, this one came out great. I threw my whirlwind of stuff in the back of this guy to pour my second layer. And obviously it leaked down like the first one did. But it leaked down in such a perfect way that it looked like he was in a snowstorm. Or trapped under ice, which is what my mom called it. And I've showed this piece before in one of my Christmas videos, so some of you might be familiar with it. But my mom liked it so much, and I almost kept it, but she took it from me. She asked me to make it into a pin for her, so I did. When I threw all my stuff in there, it came out just perfect, and it looks like he's trapped under there, or in a snowstorm, and he's got his little earmuffs on, and it just came out really cute. And I had thrown a heart in here, and it floated. I don't know how it could float to the edge and upright, because there was already resin in here. Like, there was already a layer of resin in there, but he got there somehow, and it just came out really cute. So, obviously, I had a really terrible experience with this, but this was the piece that came out that was like, wow, you know, that came out pretty cool. So, this is my best and worst piece, and my mom absolutely loves it. I actually had to steal it off of her jacket for this video because she wore it all through winter, so I had to go find her winter coat and take it off of it. So anyway, this video is probably got off long, but I hope you like everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little story stuff. Alright, thanks guys, bye.